Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is October 4th, and right now we are looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see we've got some marine layer right up against some of the coastal regions, not making its way too far in towards San Diego or the Los Angeles Metro or Santa Barbara, Ventura counties for that matter. The stratus tongue is up across some of the central coast here, and you can see we've got some mid-level moisture out there as well. It might have made for a nice sunset for some areas out there. And if I scroll back and forth, you can kind of see the progression as the sun rises across the region here, and that marine layer bobbing and weaving around there. But again, the big story here for the next few days, and what's been the story for a while now, is the excessive heat across the region. We're going to take a look off into the extended forecast to see if we have any signs of hope as we go through the month of October here. Thunderstorm threat non-existent here for the state of California as we go through the day today. And again, the hazardous heat continues. They've extended this all the way through 11 p.m. on Saturday. You can see the excessive heat warnings and even some heat advisories along the immediate coastal areas. You can see Santa Cruz, Half Moon Bay is included, Big Sur down here. Once you get north of the Bay Area, you know, a little bit more relief there. But you can see Sacramento and a lot of I-5 is included in the heat advisory for today. Now, looking at daily records set today, look at San Jose. Again, just absolutely pummeling old records that were set back in 1917 and 1985. 101 degrees yesterday in San Jose. Salinas, 99, tied the previous record high. King City, 103, broke its record also. And you can see where those locations are if you need to. And here we are looking at the high record temperature set at Sacramento City, 103 degrees. And Modesto kind of shattered and beat up its old record by quite a bit. 5 degrees is the big deal. It was set back in 1980, 104 degrees in Modesto yesterday. If we take a look here at Palm Springs, looking a little bit further south, you can see another 107 degree day there yesterday, 13 degrees above average for this time of year. The heat continues. And look at this. Paso Robles here, 103 was the old record, 106, just absolutely shattering some of these records. Palmdale, 104, the old record, 100 degrees. Lancaster, 100, beat the old record this record was 104 set yesterday versus the 100-degree record set back in 1980. Sandburg, California, tied its record high. And Phoenix, we are witnessing history here, folks, because this heat is just I'm running out of descriptors here on how to describe this. You can see the old record yesterday was 105. We hit 109. We're supposed to break records, not just break them, but absolutely crushing records all the way on in through next week for Phoenix, Arizona. And you can see that 109 there, 13 degrees above average for this time of year. And if we look at Las Vegas, there's so many records here. It's just nuts. Las Vegas, what is this next one? The high record min temperature for Las Vegas. We got Kingman, Arizona, Bishop, Needles, Death Valley, Barstow. Just crushing records all over the region here. And if we take a look at the 2-meter temperature anomaly on the GFS, I'm going to scroll through here. These are 3-hour increments here. And as we go on in through, for example, today, Friday, you can see much of the region well above average. And here we go on in through Saturday afternoon. Look at some of the coastal regions here. You're pushing 25 degrees above normal for this time of year. Some of the valley areas, just ridiculous, including Nevada, Utah, Arizona, portions of southern Oregon also. And then we scroll on in towards Sunday afternoon, and again, just ridiculous heat here for this time of year. I mean, it just continues. There is some hope off into the extended forecast, so stick with me and we'll take a look at that. But I'm going to scroll through here and you can kind of see maybe a little bit of relief for some of the coastal areas at times as we go through next week. And then some signs of life here as we go to the very end of next week. We're looking at October 11th here. You kind of see kind of a more of a mixed bag here and more of an even keel here to the temperatures. And then maybe some relief by the time we get towards next weekend. But even after that, it tries to bounce back some heat through the extended, but that's too far out to really worry about at this point. Tropical cyclone, there is some remnant tropical moisture down here, and there's something that may be brewing here out over the Pacific Ocean. No threat to the southwest USA at this time. But looking at the upper levels of the atmosphere at 18,000 feet, what we've been going on here is the Gulf of Alaska kind of dealing with some troughing and helping to amplify the ridging across the southwest USA and keeping things warm. You can see this is no exception as we go through the weekend. Still some decent ridging here, strong Gulf of Alaska. Continues to churn as we go on in through next week, and that's going to continue to keep that ridging here across the area. But then some of these frontal systems are going to try to get in here as we go through the end of next week towards the weekend, but that's no guarantee. It's way too far out to start trying to count that. You're counting your chickens before they're hatched, and we'll just have to see what happens. If we scroll out far enough, you can kind of see some troughing opening up across the Pacific Northwest and trying to introduce some of this cooler air down across some of California as well. But again, take that with a grain of salt. That's purely a fantasy forecast. It's almost like torture looking at that right now and trying to count on that. And if we take a look at frontal systems, here we go. State of California is right here. There's the Hawaiian Islands to the left. You got Pacific Ocean. We're scrolling through. You can see some weak frontal systems trying to make their way into the Pacific Northwest. A little bit of tropical moisture down here towards Baja, but again, it's not a very well developed tropical cyclone there. And then we got some frontal systems that try to get rolling in here, and we'll kind of cross our fingers and be watching that over the next few days. Maybe some of that activity can start to break the heat here across the region. And way off in the extended forecast, that would cool us down for sure. But again, it's too far out to worry about. Now, looking at 8 meters above ground smoke. So basically, this is surface smoke. And if I put this into motion, you can kind of see some of these fires. I don't know if that's the bridge fire here, kind of flaring up again there. But there are a few fires out there. And it's not too bad overall. But, that's not much comfort to people who are near some of this fire activity here over the next few days. So yeah, go ahead and check out Western Fire Chiefs if you want to know more details on those individual fires. And now we're taking a look at the European artificial intelligence as of last night. California is right there. It's the Hawaiian Islands, Pacific Ocean. What we're looking for here is any kind of tropical systems, any kind of frontal system or mid-latitude cyclone that might make a close approach to California, or any kind of big high pressure over the interior and the Great Basin that may drive an offshore wind event here. So let's put this into motion. You can see the ridging building over the Pacific Northwest, kind of keeping this offshore flow. It's not that strong here, but it's definitely enough to keep things very warm across the region as we go through this weekend coming up. And you kind of see a little bit of a thermal trough activity here with some higher pressure over the interior. Again, not strong offshore winds associated, but definitely will keep the heat going. We start to scroll off in towards next weekend, and then we get that slight potential for some of these frontal systems here to try to move into the region, but you can still see ridging over the area and higher pressure there. But no big offshore wind events here, no tropical cyclone development here otherwise as we go through the extended forecast. You can see the Pacific High kind of dominating out there as we go off in through day 15. Now looking at daily 2-meter max temperature, very warm conditions again, as I've been mentioning here across much of the region. We go in for tomorrow, there's Saturday, there's Friday, actually Sunday right there, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and this is a national blended model, so this is taking into account several different models. So you can kind of see a gradual cooling trend may be coming as we go towards the end of next week, and take anything we can get as of right now, but we'll be watching that as we go day by day. Here's the max temperature departure from average over the last 30 days. And you can clearly see how virtually the entire West here is above average, except extreme coastal regions here down across Southern California and extreme northwestern California. And you can see really the deserts, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, a lot of the interior of California have just been absolutely cooking here. A lot of areas, you're looking at 3 to 6 and some 6 to 9 above average. And then if we take a look at the last week, just absolutely ridiculous. You can see some of these areas 15 plus departure from average here over the last week, and kind of the very coastal regions of Southern California and again in northwestern California staying just slightly below average. Here's the 6 to 10 day, not much change there. This was issued yesterday. And again, I don't know what they're looking at here, but you take that with a grain of salt. They're showing some above average. Maybe they're thinking some of the frontal systems are going to be swinging down in here. We'll be watching that, and you'll know here first. So we'll just continue to view that as we go through the next few days. Here's the 8 to 14 day as well. Not much has changed. And still some above average showing up there. So we'll see if there's anything to that. We'll check back daily, try to get some model agreement on maybe one of those frontal systems getting down in here. But looking at the drought monitor here, relatively good still overall for the state of California. And, but the longer we go, the more drought that's going to be introduced. You can see there is a tiny bit of severe just in the very extreme southeast portion there of Southern California. So yeah, you can always go to the U.S. Drought Monitor you like if you want to. You can see San Bernardino County here, and there's also more information you can get by clicking around in there also. So anyway, don't shoot the messenger here. The heat is going to continue. We're shattering records all over the place here. You are witnessing history for some places. This is absolutely ridiculous. Phoenix just completely crushing its all-time daily record highs day after day. So anyway, we'll check back again tomorrow, and I hope you guys are having a good day otherwise, and I'll talk to you guys then.